Talk about Epilepsy Canada, epilepsy awareness, the fact that there is still a stigma. I didn't realize people with epilepsy really suffer, they feel, in out in the work world and in the social world. So how we can change that, and the really cool, fun event they're doing to raise much needed dollars for research and, of course, awareness. So epilepsy is obviously still something that a lot of people struggle with in Canada. They haven't found a cure for it yet. And the stigma seems to be sticking around as well. The Executive Director from Epilepsy Canada, Gary Collins, is here to hopefully help get rid of that stigma, raise awareness, and at the same time raise some critical dollars too, right?
Yes, thanks, Val, very much.
Your personal experience with epilepsy goes back when?
Almost 30 years ago. I was diagnosed late in life when I was 30 years old, and which is unusual. Most people are diagnosed either early or late. Epilepsy affects young children or seniors.
Isn't that interesting? So it's rare for someone in sort of the middle range.
Correct.
To be diagnosed. And what were your symptoms? What was happening?
I really didn't have any symptoms. For most people, they do have an aura. It's an experience either of taste or it could be visual. And for me, I did have these wild dreams. It was like a deja vu dreams. But really what happened was 10 years before I was diagnosed, I had a seizure by myself and thought I had fainted.
Because there was no one around to tell you what happened.
That's correct.
So you black out, you come to, and you think, oh, how long was I out for?
What am I doing here on the floor?
Wow.
And then I went to the doctor, and because I was young, the doctor suspected that maybe I was working too hard or playing too hard and just wanted me to calm down a little bit. And so 2 years later, same experience. And finally, when I was 30, I was coming home from a long trip in the U.S., and I had a seizure at the office. I fell and hit my head in the desk, and one of the assistants took me to the hospital. And on the way to Mount Sinai Hospital, I had 2 more seizures.
So now you had witnesses who could tell them what was going on.
That's
so it took them 10 years to diagnose that.
Yes.
Is that typical for people?
No, it isn't actually. It's quite unusual. So most often when people do have seizures, they're usually close to someone, particularly with kids, and around other people, and it's diagnosed quickly once people have a seizure.
And what happens once you've been diagnosed? What's the treatment?
Well, the treatment for most of us, for 70% of epileptics, is medication. And I'm one of the fortunate ones. I've been on Dilantin ever since 1985. And because of that, I've been able to be seizure-free for most of my life since then. But 30% of epileptics aren't so lucky. And they live a world of disorder because they can have a seizure at any time and anywhere. And for them, it's a really tough life for those who aren't either solved by medication or in any other fashion. And
what could trigger an attack, or does it come randomly?
It often comes randomly, but for most people, it's because of stress. It's environmental. It could be just natural, but for someone with a seizure, it's violent. It really takes a jolt in your life, and once you have a seizure, it takes at least 24 hours to recover.
Oh wow!
And there are people that we know that could have 10 or 20 a week, and that's tragic.
Tell me about the stigma. I didn't realize that there was still a stigma.
Well, even in the movies throughout the last 20 years, people talk about fits. They look at people with epilepsy as someone different. The seizures are usually violent, so they're very difficult to watch, and so therefore it is a stigma. People are alienated, and you're different. You're certainly different than your peers. How does it affect work? Well, in work, it's very difficult because as a young man, I was very ambitious and wanted to progress in my career, and so I was afraid to tell my employers that I had epilepsy for fear that they may take responsibilities away from me. They may not want me to have people that report to me because of the stress. Stress brings on seizures, and so I kept it a secret. Only my immediate family knew, and for the most part, all epileptics are the same. They keep it a pretty big secret. Wow, I bet we've had people on the show, and I would never know. Well, we're raising awareness and hopefully some much-needed bucks on the 26th for International Epilepsy Awareness Day. What are you going to be doing? Well, something absurd. And I was really, my colleague and friend Phil Newsom has asked me to participate with him in Purple Hair Day.
Purple Hair Day.
So we are going to color our hair purple in celebration of Purple Day. Purple Day now is an international awareness day for epilepsy worldwide and in Canada. And the month of March is actually Epilepsy Awareness Month. So we're excited to have some attention finally, and some positive attention to our disorder. We're hoping to raise money for research. That's our primary goal at Epilepsy Canada, is to raise awareness for research, raise funds for research. And we fund post-grad students every year to do projects around basic and clinical scientific research on epilepsy.
That's brilliant. Are they using a temporary color? How are they going to do this?
I hope so. Yes, I've been told that the color will fade very quickly, but I will certainly be mauve for a day or two.
Well, your hair's the perfect color because the lighter strands will take on the color and it will be quite visible. If you have dark hair, though, I guess it's a little trickier, isn't it?
Yes, I'm hoping to go back to my gray really quickly, though.
I wish you luck. I've had to change my hair color occasionally for various things, and it can take a while. But I'm sure yours will be fine. How do we get involved if we want to do our purple hair or help in other ways?
Oh, certainly you can go to our website, but we have a special promotion, which is purple hair for epilepsy.ca.
Okay.
My apologies. Yes, it's a mouthful. Yes, and please go on site. People can set up their own campaigns. Anyone who wants to join us, please do so. And we're really trying to raise money for our research projects this year.
That's right. Let's do it. Let's get a cure once and for all. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story.
Thanks, Val, for having me.
I have got to see a picture of you with purple hair.
We'll be sure to send it over.
Thank you. I was going to ask you that. So for more information, epilepsy.ca will lead you there, or you can go straight to Purple Hair 4, the number 4, epilepsy.ca. When we come back, the hottest spring shoes. Yay!